the areas that we cover. What we did, we had a good show last week with Reginald Thomas and a young lady who had been in the labor program for about 25 plus years. And now we have the person who gets it all started, Mr. Donald Slack. He is the director. Well, I'll tell you what, you know more about yourself than I do. Tell us who you are, what your purpose is, the areas you cover, and what's the importance of a 3-year apprenticeship program.
Well, thank you, Mr. MC, for the invite, and to all of our listeners, good evening. Let me throw a little quick shout out to all of those Super Bowl fans who are not so much enthused, but again, great season. My name is Donald Slack. I run the apprenticeship program. We cover the whole state of Kansas, from Kansas City to Joplin, from Joplin all the way to Columbia, Missouri, 10 miles west of Columbia, all the way back to Kansas City to St. Joseph, Missouri. So we cover quite a few counties. We have over 500 contractors that are signatory. What signatory means is those are contractors that are on board with hiring apprentices, giving them opportunities and chances to learn the construction skill trade for construction craft laborers. And more importantly, the benefit of this 3-year program is you invest in yourself. It's not a job. It's a passage. It's a pathway. It's a career. And it has great benefits. And I'm not just talking about the wages. I'm talking about the opportunities. We've had some of our apprentices that have graduated turn into superintendents, and even some turned into minority business owners. So when I say the sky is the limit, just pick your pen and your paper up and begin to write the chapters of your life. And listen, the future is in your hands.
Well, let me do this. We have a remembrance and dialogue, and I have a very important announcement. Milton Martin died the other evening. He was a veteran. He died of COPD. So this is a warning to the people who go out there, not only smoke but over smoke. But anyway, Milton Martin is survived by his sister, Miss Mary Pettis Tillman, a bunch of nephews and nieces all around the Tennessee and Arkansas area. And now that people of color are leaning more toward cremating, Mr. Martin will be cremated. That's the sole wish of his family. Now, let's go back, because you probably have some laborers that dig the graves that the people go into. So, Mr. Slack, let's go back to you. And we also have Mr. Arfo. He's with the Missouri Black Chamber of Commerce. We have Mr. Scott Owen, who makes sure we're on the air. And all of them have played an important role in making this show possible.
Thank you.
You know more about yourself than we do, Donald.
All right, so right where I left off at was that again that we've had apprentices that have graduated from the program, turned into superintendents, turned into minority business owners. And let me pause to say this is my story. I came to Kansas City 28 years ago, a father of 2 young kids, a wife. I had 16 cents when I walked off the bus to Kansas City, and from there the rest is history. I pulled myself up by my own bootstraps. I didn't know no friends. I didn't have no family. So I took advantage of every opportunity. My motivator was my kids and my wife. And more importantly, I believe in keeping God first. God is he's always been my rock. He's been my central place. And me being able to get a job and start off as an apprentice, and let me say, I was when the apprenticeship first happened. I was in the second class. So I know what it's like to go through every stage, every facet, from a worker to a lead man to an instructor to director, apprenticeship coordinator of the whole program. Hey, I've been blessed to tell the story. In some cases, I'm one of the novels. I'm not the sole story. I'm just a novel and a part of it.
Well, let us do this, Mr. It's like, if someone, first, Mr. Scott Owen, tell them who has the opportunity to listen to this show, and then I'll give them a number. If they want to call in, they can do so.
This show can be reached on FergusonUSAHotTalkRadio.com. You can also be reached on the Ferguson USA Hot Talk Radio pages on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube at this time. And later on, it'll be under the anywhere you can find a podcast. If you'd like to contact this show on the Facebook page, you can participate in the chat, and we'll be monitoring that.
What about the YouTube?
The YouTube, I'm having trouble keeping it on, so that's hit or miss. Facebook is a lot more reliable right now.
And the podcast, I know you was going to several different countries, right?
Yes, sir. It's going to Brazil, going to Ireland, Belgium, England. It's going all over the world, sir.
Let me add this. We don't like to give people a second chance, but if you so happen have a record, be a felon, the laborers you can get in there, but they don't want you to come in to continue while you went to wherever prison. But that is an opportunity, the second chance opportunity. I know they have prison ministries and what have you. A lot of people learn trades there. Then somehow there's forbidden to get in the union, depending on what union they're trying to get into. But the laborers, local 264, and I think Mr. Folks, that labor union in St. Louis is number 2, right?
IBW local number 2. Well, we're NC with all IBWs who do outside work. In the case of, as Mr. Slack mentioned there, with IBW local 2, we have the eastern part of the state of Missouri. And also, Mr. Slack introduced the Missouri Chamber of Commerce. We have the entire state of Missouri that we work with for black business owners. So we kind of compliment you there. So when one of your members want to start his own business, we can assist him probably with financing, relationships to build his business, as well as him to understand, the pitfalls, and also seek funding, either for grants or either for small loans for their business.
All right, man. That sounds like an excellent opportunity, and I definitely want to connect with you because there are people that are listening that I'm pretty sure we've already tricked their conscience. Hey, you know what? Whether I live on the east side of the state or the west side of the state, guess what? This is one of those godsends, and so we have 2 great persons here that have their fingers on the pulse of this industry, and this is a great opportunity for someone to take advantage of it.
Well, Mr. Slack, just NC, you have me here. The Missouri Chamber of Commerce has been blessed to be working in Haytown, Missouri. I know that's probably a little outside your parameters, but we're building a major complex down in Haytown that includes 24 units of housing that's worth $7.5 million. We're building a supermarket. We're building a laundromat and a commercial retail space. And in that, that includes all aspects, labor, it's like the whole gamut. And that's a project, okay, that's been funded, it's already funded, and we will be working, to bring, black business owners into their own jobs, into their own companies and opportunities. And
one of the great things is that, even though you're there in St. Louis, our arms reach all the way to St. Louis as well. And I serve on other boards there with the laborers there in St. Louis, right outside of High Hill, St. Charles, Missouri, the food deal. So just us connecting is a godsend, because definitely we can make some things happen. And with this 3-year apprenticeship and with projects like you mentioned, listen, the state of Missouri, the state of Kansas, has made an initiative to where they're looking for minorities in apprenticeship program and to ensure that single moms, households, up to about two-parent households, have a fair shake at not just working, but articulating through the program, and they're literally studying the programs, and I'm talking about specific to the laborers, but we have the local too here, but the same applies in terms of retention. Hey, where are you at after you finish the program? How are you doing? Are you still gainfully employed? Are you able to be competitive? I mean, this is really a great opportunity for the two of us, and I'm glad the MC connected us together. This is awesome.
Well, we thank you for the opportunity, because one of the things that Missouri Chamber of Commerce as you know, Missouri, we have very few really black business owners, and so in our case with our HATAP project initiative, we have to create some companies, for us to hire each other, to be in business, okay, to make money, and through our chamber, we are part of the National Black Chamber of Commerce, which is a worldwide organization that has a global reach also. And so really there's a lot of opportunities for us to have the same synergy, not just any, but same synergies to work together as a team to be able to bring resources to our people in the state of Missouri.
Well, and what's so great about it is many people think that a laborer is someone that digs a ditch, someone that goes and carries the shovel.
It's more than that, yes.
It's more than that, and we even in this 3-year program that we have training that matches its job. So when you start talking about building complexes and building businesses that are made out of brick and cement, we do that. And I forgot to say, we even have a veterans program. We have a Latino program. We have a women's program that is essential for minority businesses, and I am proud to say I am a black and one of the only black directors in the whole Midwest.
I believe that, yes. Matter of fact, I was a former member of the St. Louis Labor Council here in the city of St. Louis, and was organized with local two of the IBW, which we did primarily in the time I was there, trying to organize the cable industry, which, there's a lot of broadband construction taking place now, and that's outside work, and putting the poles, the trenches, and the ditches, and one thing that we always say about the diabetes with local too is there's no more dirt to be created. It cannot be exported, no place. So all the jobs that we create will stay here in the state of Missouri.
And what is good about the apprenticeship program is that the training is free. It's at no cost, no expense to the applicant. And I want to,
Respect, I'll ask you a question. We have a program with one of our members now where we're in the process of preparing for this infrastructure dollars, and that most of them dollars will be made here initially is not the dollars, but in the dump truck business. That's a wide open industry that most people talk about in the truck business. A driver is not always over the road drivers that's needed. A lot of people want to stay at home with their family because they got to haul the cement, they got to haul the dirt, they got to, that's always jobs like that. That's stay at home jobs.
And I'm again, I mean, you're bringing up some very advantageous opportunities for our listeners because the laborers we pay for CDL, we train them. We rent the trucks for CDLs. I mean, the opportunity to be a construction craft laborer, again, for things like that, because contractors are saying, hey, I want somebody who's going to do more than just drive the truck and just sit in it. I want somebody that's going to get out. I want somebody that's going to help. I want somebody that's going to help load, somebody to help unload. So, again, that speaks to the diversity of what we do as a construction craft laborer.
Well, I said one thing, Mr. Slag, you are a godsend. And one of the things when I was more involved, there was had been, which is why your program probably came about, okay, was a gap, a valley, not just a gap, okay, like a canyon Whereas when people got into the business, there was the thing, how do I get my truck? How do I, you get a contract? Because one of our members, with a cousin of mine, had just signed a contract to do a whole lot of stuff with one of the most major contractors in this, this contracts, like Weber Construction. I've heard them before. There's a lot of, quarry work, so to speak. And that's where, it all originates from.
And, and the beauty again, I mean, this couldn't have been better partners, and MC must have really been divinely led to connect us together, because the laborers have a quarry agreement. Quarry agreement. This is where we put apprentices and workers with then a rock quarry to literally work, do blasting, do drilling. So the sky is literally the limit. It just needs somebody that can see from a bird's eye view what the world looks like, and not be the beta fish in the Super Bowl.
Well, I am a visionary, as MC would tell you myself, like you are a visionary. And I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of experiences, and understand the inside out, okay, how important it is, for the, first of all, MC knows, but you understand, I was trained initially by the local teacher, local 688 here in the St. Louis area, and was a part of the All-State Joint Council in the area 13. And later in my life, I was able to build a kitchen for the city of St. Louis, where I created my own local, my own shop, I should say, in the city of St. Louis, where I built a kitchen for the city of St. Louis. And so we tried to organize the cake industry here in St. Louis and around the state. Matter of fact, we looked in Columbia, Missouri, and we also manufactured the site. We're working right now in the Jefferson City area right now with the Economic Development Council there. So this is a godsend for them already. We have inroads there for you. We can open some doors up there for you, sir.
Man, all we need to do is make one of those pit stops. So the next time I come to St. Louis, we'll go somewhere healthy and easy, and let's chop it up. I'll bring you my pen and my paper, my tape recorder, whatever we need to do, so that way we have a tangible action plan and make something happen.
Well, I'm going to make it simple again, or we can do it on the telephone, right away. So we don't have to wait to travel. That's one thing that took place during this pandemic. He brought out, this was something created by 4G, as you know, which was Zooms and, conference calls and stuff like that. They were already had on our phones already. We just didn't know it was there. So we can make things happen quickly now. Even internet radio, which our station right now, firstusahotradio.com, is an internet radio station. That's where we can be heard around the world right now in live and living color. And
yeah,
living color.
Yeah, the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit.
Now, Mr. Slack, just for your information, sky's the limit. The initials are STL, by the way.
Say that again?
The sky's the limit. Its initials are STL.
Look out, man.
So I love when somebody says the sky's the limit. So yes, you're singing my song.
Yeah, well, and I'm going to tell you this. As a black man in a predominant white culture, the construction trade is a predominant white culture. I need to talk about that for a little bit, please. Because for black men and black women, they're going to need to be able to practice listening skills, how to communicate, and more importantly, how to stay focused. Because in this trade, let's just be honest, it's about friends and family for the most part.
Yes.
And if you're not one of those and you look like me, and I'm telling you I am dark-skinned, and there's no mistaking me for who I am in terms of my ethnicity. And during my time in the field, I've heard jokes, I've heard conversations, I've been made to feel certain ways, but I kept my mind focused. Being raised by grandparents who were sharecroppers from the state of Mississippi and Alabama, they taught me one thing: don't ever let anybody have enough power or influence to take bread off your table by appealing to your ego and pride.
Yeah, Mr. Slack, I think you just said something there. I think that we need be heard more and more and more. Matter of fact, it reminds me of a story some years ago. Some young people came to me. My position still St. Louis. I'm the one who designed the EEO program. I was kind of keep a confined schedule. I did it all. And so when we had young men at the Kingdom who started their own businesses, I would assist them. And so we had a young man came to me, I should say, and he wanted to do some work, okay, for, and it would have led to casino work, it would have led to a whole future for him. And so the problem that he had, and this he's gonna laugh at it, which is it has to be funny, but it's a teaching moment. The name of his company was an African name, and it's like it came close to like FUCKU, so to speak. And it was close enough to that, okay. Or it also came close to being called a nigger word, the N word, okay. And so I told him, I said, well, sir, you're gonna be in the trenches, okay. And people they're gonna call you a name, okay. Well, I just followed briefly. I said, well, no. I said, it makes sense to change your name, right? And so he said, I refuse to change my name. Well, he lost millions of dollars. Because why? His ego.
Yeah. And as a black man, we have not been taught how to be thinkers and strategists. We've been taught how to show our true strength, how to express ourselves in ways that are non-productive, and then ultimately, we have poor management skills.
Yes.
And so all we need is the right scenario, and we self-destruct. and let me be honest.
Yes.
I'm not just talking about just management. I'm talking about money. I have seen guys in our program. We start off at $16 and some change, top out at $33, and literally some of these guys make $1,200 a week take home. Well, that's not money to go kick it with and take your girl out. How about you make your money sweat and work harder than you do? And take that opportunity, the training that we offer people for free, get with the Chamber of Commerce in St. Louis, Kansas City, wherever it is, the Black Chamber, and say, let's make this money work harder than we did.
Well, that's where we come in. And most of my members that I get now, I have to go through a process educating them on the do's and don'ts. And I learned this when I was working with the organizers of IBW. We were organized in the Columbia, Missouri area, and down in the Boot Hill area, in the Ozarks and stuff. And I can't count the times, okay, that I was the only black in a room full of all kind of racist people, okay. And but I would sit there, and they knew that they needed me, and I needed them. And once you come with a common denominator, say, okay, you're gonna get along. And at the same time, even when I left there, anywhere I went or by myself, no one would touch me because they knew that I was there to help their community.
And that goes to what you talked about earlier, and what I alluded to slightly about being focused, being goal-driven. That what you say the acronym was for the sky's the limit?
Yes. St. Louis.
STL?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean that's where partnerships like Black Training Director, Black Chamber of Commerce, and I'm not timid when I say black, because that's what we are. We're black folks, and as a black folks or people of color, we feel more safe and more comfortable communicating with people that look like us.
Well, one of the things is like I have had a problem with a lot of people, the black people I come across. They're afraid to use the word black, okay? And I said, well, no, we are Black Chamber of Commerce. As a matter of fact, my private company is not a minority company, because if you're a minority, you only have 25% of the pie. You can get that much. That means 25% of the pie on the table. As a black company, as a businessman, period, okay, I want much as I can off the table.
Yeah.
As much as I'm qualified to get. So why sit down and put limitations on yourself?
Well, you know, and with you saying that brings up something that I tell any black person, and I'm proud to be black. Let me be clear. If I could wait 10 minutes from now and I had control over it, I'd be one shade darker. and that's just how proud I am. And I'm proud to come from a grandfather who had a 6th grade education, a grandmother who had a 9th grade education. I'm proud to say that's where I come from, because my work ethics came from that. But where I'm getting at is that the word minority has to be explained, and what you just said is so pivotal, because the white Caucasian American female is considered now as a minority. Anyone that is non-black is considered a minority now.
Mr. Slack, you know, this is a teaching moment. I'm going to take advantage of this, okay? It's kind of rare. In the city of St. Louis, when we started building our cable system back in 1985, one of the things that I was responsible for, again, was, you know, getting contractors in and trying to get black contractors in. And so what happened was, even here in St. Louis, okay, a lot of the companies came in, the white companies came in, and they will quickly pick up the fact, okay, that a female in St. Louis, we had a minority city side of 25% for males, 10% for women. So the white contractors initially jumped on top of it, okay, and said, well, I'm not white as a minority. I see the white as a minority contractor. And at the time, our boss had to be a white person also, so she pushed, okay, all the white companies to go out and use their wives, you know, to come in, okay, and get the contracts. And so that kind of originated here in St. Louis again. You know, we first on a lot of stuff, not always good stuff. But at the same time, now we find ourselves every race, the Chinese, everybody else is now getting their fair share. But the blacks and the still in the same spot.
And you want to, and that goes to that thinking and strategic, and that mental muscle. Because see, one of the advantages when I tell apprentices that graduate into journeymen, that many of these contractors, and I'm not going to tiptoe around it, and you can't quote me, they have companies that are owned some by their husband, and then the other company is owned by their wife. So you have a parent company and a subservient company.
Yes, you do.
And so they're not, as you spoke to earlier, they're not looking at the 25%. They're looking at 35%. I'm going to come in and bid it. It's going to be under John Doe. Now, when you get ready to bid this minority, it's going to be under your name. Whatever your name is, now the check is going to 2 different companies. But in the back alley, we're going to split the money because it's going to one account.
Well, not in the back alley. So, you go right to the front of the house, go to the same husband and wife bank account. As you know, what your wife is, hers and yours. You know what hers is yours, what else is hers.
and here's the thing. Many of these start off as an apprentice. Many of these people, these business owners, start off at a grassroots level. They just take advantage of the opportunity.
Well, Mr. Slime, one of the things in the IBW, which is primarily, here locally, there's white union, companies and stuff. And what I would do personally, okay, I would go to recruit. And the cities I would deal with, that I go to these different organizations. I would sit there in the past, you would go from father to son and so on and so on and so on. But right now, the IBW find itself down short 60,000 people right now because of retirement.
Yeah.
People, their sons don't want to do what their daddy did.
Well, if you just tune in, and we're halfway through this show that is educational and all the orientation you get, my name is MC Richardson. I'm the chairman, CEO of the United Minority Media Association, and also my show, Guess Who's Coming to Kansas City? It's been ongoing for about 32 years. It also got the name from Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, had it copyrighted, got it trademarked, so no one can step right in, got a opportunity from Ferguson USA Hot Talk Radio, and soon we're supposed to be simulcasting. Now, I don't know, Donald, if you ever heard of the Kansas City plan. That was back in the 70s, okay? Well, I was working for them, and what our job was to place minorities and women into the skilled crafts of construction, and we had labor union was part of the operation committees of the Kansas City plan. But here's a situation where you have people down with the Human Relations Department in Kansas City, Missouri, that they were looking for WBEs, MBEs, but in a lot of cases, most of them, they might have had the academia, but they did not have the wisdom, nor did they have the experience. They fell way short on that, but since they got a degree, they was able to get those jobs. Now, it was some of the WBE and the MBEs, they would come down to get a job, a minority job, and they would hire white folks, okay? You had that situation. And then there was one monarch, elected, the guy put his wife as a minority, because minority and women, especially and white, they kind of double when they went to seek a job. But you got that problem because some people say that black folks, people of color, don't want to work. Well, you got an opportunity as becoming a laborer. We got 264 here in Kansas City, number 2 up in St. Louis and other, and throughout the state. Well, you got an opportunity to have a proud job, and just like you don't have to pay that money back that you go to college. Some people get them $100,000 loans, then they have to reimburse the people that they borrowed it from. But this is an opportunity, apprenticeship program in the construction industry. Tell the people about what type of pay they start out with and what type of union dues they have to pay.
Well, Mr. MC, we start you off at $16 an hour, and we go through the program with 10% increments. Your union dues are $27 a month, but the locals that you join work
$27 a month. $27 a month.
Yes, sir.
That's a pittance for what you're making a whole month.
And just to say a little bit about the program, anything over 8 hours is overtime. If you work on a highway or a bridge, anything over 10 hours is overtime. If you work on a Sunday or a holiday, it is double time. And listen, we have Local 264 building in Kansas City, Local 663 Heavy Highway. We have Local 663 Joplin, Springfield. We have Local 1290 Kansas City, Kansas. We have Local 579 St. Joe, Missouri. We have a local in Topeka. We have one in Manhattan. We have one in Atchison. We have a Local 660 right there in Columbia. Again, I can just keep going on, and I'm saying take advantage of this opportunity because I can point you to that right direction.
Now, Mr. Slack, one thing, like you said, one of the things, okay, unions have been the backbone for years of getting people out of poverty, taking them to the next level where they make real, clean, good money. I used to always tell people, you may get dirty, you make enough money to buy you some soap, pay for some water, pay for your washing machine. But the union is going to do the job that we have, and most times, most corporations right now raise your salary based on what the unions are doing. They know that we have a model that actually, and by the way, unions are now starting to come back into place, so to speak, because there's a need now, and people are thinking now smarter now. They don't work 3 or 4 jobs. Wait till you get one good paying union job, and I can pay my family, but have time still to stay with them. I have time for my family now. Family time is more important than ever before.
Yes.
And before you get ready, I know you guys you got a lot of stuff that people need to know, but tomorrow, day after tomorrow, after that former St. Louis team is playing in the Super Bowl, there is a George Washington birthday, so whereas they said people have cherry pies, but I got a friend, a young lady that she has to, I'm from Missouri, the Show Me State, she has to bring me some more sweet potato pies, and I'll compete with the cherry pies.
Hey, man. go ahead and tell them that that team that was in St. Louis is in the Super Bowl. Because these boys on this side of the mountain, man, they just took all the cheap hats, the jerseys, man, the cupcakes, the Twinkies, the cookie cakes, man, they got rid of them the next day, half off. Man, you ought to spend a little bit more time talking about them.
Well, right now, the St. Louis Rams, matter of fact, Big Windmill just went into the Hall of Fame. We have a Super Bowl team that was stolen from us. And went to LA. But right now, again, they got they're starting winning attitude while they were here in the state of Missouri.
Well, is Mr. MC still on the phone? Because I think we lost him.
I did what now?
We won the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, by the way. We won a one-shot wonder neither, by the way.
Are you trying to say something about our Chiefs, Donald?
Well, hey, I'm just agreeing with my brother from St. Louis who's talking about that they weren't. What did you say that? You guys weren't a what?
A one-shot wonder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought I heard you say.
Yeah, we went there 2 years in a row. And we were still called the greatest show on turf.
Now, and let me be clear. You all went to the Super Bowl, and it didn't take you 50 years to make it twice, right?
No, we didn't.
What are you trying to say about our Chiefs? Lamar Hunt was the one that coined the phrase of Super Bowl.
And the trophy named after him also. I give him credit.
Yeah, the American Conference, yeah.
No, that's not keeping it MC as the Missouri back team of commerce. I'm always proud of my whole state, and that's why I've bragged on Patrick and all the boys. Because right now Missouri has very few things they can brag about other than the Chiefs.
That is true, and they got a pretty good St. Louis Blues hockey team up there too. I think they're going to get a soccer team, but the people out there in the industry, don't forget what Monday is. And you have the money, if you're a prince or whatever, either buy her some roses, or she can buy him some chocolate, call it St. Valentine's Day.
Or buy a bottle of wine.
Yep. Is that cherry wine? Is that, what type of wine you suggested?
Well, we have all kinds of vineyards in the state of Missouri. We have, matter of fact, Missouri is next to California in wine vineyards.
Yeah, up there near St. Joe, isn't it? They got a winery place up there?
In St. Joe, they got also outside of Columbia, between here and there, they got all types of. But Missouri has some of the best vineyards in the whole country. And like I said, right behind. Matter of fact, we may have moved up because unfortunately, in these wildfires destroyed a lot of business in the last couple of years. So Missouri right now has some of the best wine in the country. And they import it around the world. They want Missouri wines.
I took my wife to a wine cellar right here in St. Louis just yesterday for our anniversary.
By the way, Scott celebrated 38 years of marriage to the same woman, MC. We're proud of him. 38 years.
It wasn't easy for her.
Well, how he gets out of it, because you can't catch up with him or his wife. He said, I'm probably out riding my motorcycle.
That's right.
I tell you will. But on the same token, Donald, we're talking about something Missouri is a show me state, and we're talking about people, like I stated earlier, that if a person messed up, got a felon, whatever, he can become a member of the labor's local, but then that doesn't mean he can continue doing the bad stuff that he got that felon for. This provides him with an excellent opportunity to compete with people, feed his family, and do things that is very good. And we're talking about economical. You can't go wrong, and you don't go to jail being a laborer. You go to jail being a crook.
And it's a very good point that you brought up, and I know you said that 3 times. It needs to be said continuously because the black population represents a high demographic of those that are incarcerated. And here's what I say to anyone that comes to our program. 1, if you have a past, you have already met the minimum qualifications to have a future. All you got to remember is that is the PAST. As long as it's that, hey, you go ahead and start writing. My brother from St. Louis said it's STL.
Yes.
Sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. But as a matter of fact, that's the thing nowadays is, we can't tell you enough right now about union, because right now the infrastructure bill, that's billions of dollars, with trillions of dollars, if you add them all up, okay? And one thing that we have our President Joe Biden is saying, he's a union president. And so right now, almost the majority of the dollars that are forthcoming to our state of Missouri, or for any state in that business us right now, they're going to be going to the money is going to union companies. So you behoove you, okay? And right now, the unions themselves are gladly accepting minority black companies right now. They want to grow. And the one commonality in all this is all green at the end of the day. That allows you to go home and feed your family and send your kids to college. Buy your wife, like you said, on Valentine's Day. But you can buy a car if you want to. But you got money coming in on a continuous basis. It's not like a one shot. I'm making money today. And that's one thing that we as black men have to understand. We need to figure out how to think like a farmer, how to cultivate our money to make it grow for us. And by working in a steady job, you can do that by saving your money and doing things and buying things that you want for your house, like a car, like a house, even for supplies for your kids, put them in great schools.
Also, we're talking about this, but this is, in case you have forgotten, this is Black History Month. And it's the shortest history month, but we make history throughout the decade, the year, and what have you. And it just so happened that our president, and I think they're down to 3 women now who are going to be the first black woman become a Supreme Court justice. And then you got Claiborne down in South Carolina. He is pushing his lady in there. But this is the opportunity that, and then, you have I forgot, Donald, and I know Aaron knows this because he was in that field that was close to the iron workers, and then the Native Americans, because they have good balance, a lot of them become iron workers. They have a lot of black folks who are iron workers, and it's just like the laborers, you go in the job when it gets started, and you in most cases, you close it out when they complete it.
Well, the Gabriel Arch right here is an excellent testimony to the Laborers Union.
Yeah. That's all right.
And also, MC, and also, Mr. Slag, I know Scott knows the answer already. Who was the first person to win 5 Super Bowl rings? What player was that? MC? And he's a black man, by the way.
Oh, man. You got to help me. What team did he play for?
He played for San Francisco. He played for Dallas Cowboys.
Okay. And he won the first Super Bowl? I mean, he won 5 Super Bowls?
Yeah, he's the first person to win 5 Super Bowl rings. And he held the record for 21 years.
Well, I want to add something else. I tried to say it last week, but it was 12 presidents that owned slaves. Can anyone tell us who they are?
Now, MC, this is a Super Bowl question for you right now. What was the first person to win the 5 Super Bowl? In fact, I'm going to answer the question. You know the answer. His name was Charles Haley. He's a linebacker.
Yeah, Charles Haley. Yeah.
Yes, he played for the Dallas Cowboys and also the San Francisco 49ers.
And he played for Green. Did he play for Green Bay?
But he probably did, but he didn't get a ring there.
Yeah.
I just think the team did, but he got a Super Bowl ring at.
Yeah. Oh, I heard you. I got you.
I said he got a Super Bowl ring, not the team that he played for when he got Super Bowl rings at.
I got you. My fault, sir. I think.
Listen. Yeah, he was the first person to win 5 Super Bowl rings for 21 years. He held their record next to Tom Brady came along. MC, now you know something else. You can ask that question to some of your good friends about that.
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, you didn't know it. You know they don't know it because you know most things.
Well, also the people out there who are watching the Facebook, they can, how you do that when I'm learning how to do. On my iPhone, I can text the station, the Facebook, and ask a question. We want to open this up. He said they had a women union, but they got people of all cultures that are part of laborers. And one thing about it is, well, I can't curse on the. I shouldn't. You make good money being a laborer.
Yes. You make good, clean money. All money is clean because it goes directly to your bank account. You don't have to touch the money; it goes to your bank account.
And the beauty of it is, they can choose how much overtime they want to work in most cases. Because contractors during the summertime, that's our prime time of the year, and those boys are working long hours.
Yes.
Also, Mr. Slack, and I need about 200 pair, playing off your name, but you guys are all year round. And what should a person do, like listen to shows, people telling them, putting it in the papers or whatever, media, how can they get started, and what should they do?
Well, they can call Donald Slack, and that last name is so unique that everyone that has struggling with identity crisis, they have names that are common like Williams. But if you can't forget that last name, Slack, 913-441-6100. You can call me Monday through Friday there at the office. If I'm not there, leave your name and your number. Or you can email me at director@gkcltc.org, and I will get back with you and help you get started. And again, it is one of those last names, Mr. Williams, that people only use when they're going out somewhere real nice. That's right.
Well, let me ask you, Mr. Slack, you said you got off the bus or train or whatever, but you just said where you started. I know our guy over the Missouri Black Chamber, he was down there in the Boot Hills of Louisiana. So where'd you come from? You said your people were, grandpeople were sharecroppers.
Yes. So I'm born, raised from Seattle, Washington. That's where my grandparents moved after the military relocated my grandfather. So we spent a lot of time in the South, when they took those road trips back in the station wagons and the Cadillacs and the Chrysler New Yorkers. They believed in packing
shoeboxes.
Yeah, put all of the food in the...
my mother and grandmother used to, every time we went to Oklahoma, they took a shoebox full of chicken.
Yeah, chicken, cake, and water, frozen water.
Yeah, and napkins.
Yeah, and plenty of napkins. And we used to stop off at our relative's house on the way to where we were going and spend the night and catch up. So, great story, great narrative. So I came to Kansas City, like I said, 28 years ago, 16 cents in my pocket. Didn't have no friends, no family. I just learned as I went. I did meet some people along the way that were instrumental, so I don't want to slight them. That helped me, as I matriculated through the trade. But I am proud to say that it was the teaching of a man named Oliver Wallace and a woman who was maternal named Martha Wallace that taught me how to do things and to make money stretch. And listen, without that kind of training and rearing, it makes things rough for black folks. But because I have that training, listen, I'll be your big brother, I'll be your mentor, I'll be your life coach. And I don't mind telling you that I believe in saving more than spending.
Well, you mentioned Seattle. I've been there several times, as in the Navy. And we opened up the World's Fair one year, and I think it's still going on there, the towers and things they built.
Yeah.
And it rains there every day at noon.
I thought you were going to talk about our Seahawks, so I'm glad you didn't do that.
Seahawks? Y'all close to water? I guess you are, aren't you? What happened to them this year?
Not a good year.
I know.
Well, we decided to get some furniture and then let y'all sit on the furniture we bought so y'all can watch the game with us.
Yeah, I like Seattle. That was, then I used to run over to Vancouver, too.
Yeah. So, but that's where I'm from, and like I said, I'm very, very humble. I'm very, very proud of who I am, what I represent, and let me tell you again, the laborers, the construction craft laborers, construction trades, that is what took care of 3 kids, put 3 kids to college. I bought my home, working right there every day. I don't owe any student loans. I have skill sets that you can't take from me. They can fire me today from my job, but they can't take those skills from me.
But also, like, once again, we have about approximately 5 more minutes, so we should get as most out to the people and how we can get more people, because a lot of people have a lot of jobs and a lot of people don't want to work because they've been drawing X amount of money unemployment when they pay them not to work. But this is a situation that there are jobs out there, and a lot of people don't want to work.
They want to work, okay, but they want to get a job that's paying them decent wages. And right now, as I can tell you, most of the union jobs right now, we have people showing up every day to fill those jobs.
Yes. And we do have them every day, and they're showing up. And listen, because we have an aging workforce, the opportunity is there.
Yes.
Some of you all that are on the fence, not real sure, I'm telling you, this is the right time. You don't have to cherry pick or pick low-hanging fruit. You can get stuff on top of the tree.
Yes. Right now, as I said earlier on, most unions right now, with all the new money coming into the pipeline, see, the whole country has to be totally rebuilt. The whole infrastructure has to be rebuilt. All of our telephone networks, all of our telephone poles, all of our sewers, all that is money waiting to be done by union workers.
Come on, more and more. We got a few more minutes. Tell the people how they can get there.
So if you want to, again, you can call me at 913-441-6100 or email me at director@ukclcc.org, or you can walk in on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 10 at 8944 Carl Drive, Kansas City, Kansas, area code 666111. I hate the zip code. I can't do nothing about it. But hey, listen, come on down. See me.
That's what we said. Egos should not get in the way.
Yeah. That's right. Leave your egos. Yeah.
And that's one thing about a union job. You go in there, you're not going to have a lot of black people on your job, but you have to go there and learn how to get along. And that's one of the things about this union job. You're going to learn how to socialize and get along with people. That's your buddy, your partner for 8 hours a day. You got to learn how to communicate.
And you need to be drug-free. Let me make sure I say that.
Well, you also can pick it back off what Reginald Thomas told the people last week, and the young lady, that you got to have transportation.
That's the other thing right there. You said it for us. Man, you sure you ain't a laborer?
We labored all our lives.
That's a good one, MC.
Well, on the closing out, repeat, Florian Scott, I don't know why you're quiet back there, but we're not, though.
I'm just the
you
producer,
can talk,
sir.
it's okay.
I'm just the producer, sir.
Okay, producer. Well, Donald, Reginald called me and told me about your apprenticeship program was ongoing, and he was saying need to get you connected, be on interview, and probably several interviews after this, and not just today, because we all like to do follow-up on what's taking place and how many people listen and how many people want to get involved. Like I said, my aunt, Esther Martha Bridges, she had worked down, she was in 264 when they were, Jimmy Woodley company had the Fairfax down there, so they had laborers working for them.
Oh, and also, Mr. Frank, I'd like to invite you on my program, which airs every Saturday for the last 15, since 2015 on Ferguson, USA, HotDogRadio.com. It's called Lunch with the Missouri Chamber of Commerce every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Well, he's saying that, and I was saying about the money, but also out of every dollar earned, the union puts in X amount of dollars for the vacation fund.
That's true. Yeah. That's one of those things that I didn't really get a lot of chance to get into, but that's part of that $33 an hour that you all have. And listen, it comes in handy. Some people use it for Christmas, but if you're like me, I don't spend it. It's that private stash that you keep, that you don't let your wife know about. That's the money you hide.
She might be listening today, man.
But she don't know where it's at.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to close out, but continue listening and send the people and tell all your people. I know you got Facebook. You got a long list of people. Tell them to tune in each and every week. Well, my show is from 5 to 6, and it's Ferguson USA, HotTalkRadio.com. And listenership, the more we get, then the more people you get that want to buy time and be sponsored. So don't forget that. Everything's about cash.
Information, and we are an information station.
And don't forget to call me at 913-441-6100, Donald Flack.
Say it one more time, please.
913-441-6100, Labor and Apprenticeship Coordinator, Donald Flack. Please, don't forget to call me.
Well, thanks everybody for listening, but on the same token, we're still celebrating Black History Month, and hopefully, they said maybe a week or so, they might name a person to be nominated to be the first black woman to sit on the Supreme Court.
Well, she will be named, but she has to do that process and get confirmed, and that's where the fun begins.
So, Mr. Flack, tell Mr. Reginald Thomas, and you knew my cousin too, or you know him. Y'all call him Tony. Y'all call him Michael Bill. I call him Tony.
Oh, well, man, your stock just went up, because that's the best dude, one of the best.
That's what he keeps telling me. And I didn't know he had 4 sons.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, your stock just went up, man.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have another good guest for next Saturday, so you don't have to listen just one time. Tune in each hour. What time is your show being broadcast?
1 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time every Saturday, and 1 p.m. on Ferguson, USA, HotDogRadio.com.
And my show is from 5 to 6 Central Standard Time. Guess who's coming to Kansas City? And we want you to come to Kansas City, St. Louis, the Show Me State, and we got to go. Talk at you later, and I don't know who y'all are praying. Oh, no, not praying. Who y'all want to win tomorrow, but I'll still watch it.
Bengals.
Those are Tigers, are.
Yeah, the Bengals, Missouri Tigers, they can be up and down. Now, that's not a par, but they can be
Yep. But ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for today. Thanks for listening.